Now, very important point which we are going to cover today, that is interview question discussion. So before going forward, I would like to say you like what are the interview basic questions which are asked by the various multinational companies while you are applying as a fresher or 3+ years experience or 1+ years experience for an interview. So which are the basic questions you must be knowing? So that questions we are going to discuss now. So the first questions I just have created one file in which I have added all these questions. Okay. So what is the difference between quality control and quality assurance? So this is the main question which interviewer will ask you. So the control is actually it is a product oriented approach of running the program. It determines any if it has any defect as well as make sure that software meets all our requirements. Okay, but what is quality assurance? It is related to process oriented approach. Okay, means it is not related to product oriented approach. Here we are checking the process through which that particular product is going. Okay, so whether that particular process is matching criteria of or standard of the company, so then that is called as quality assurance. So whatever deliverables are coming, so these must be going through the actual process. That is called as quality assurance. Okay, and in case of quality control, we are mainly focusing on the product. It's a product oriented approach. Okay. Now, what is software testing? So this is the basic and important question which is asked first. So it is a process that is used to identify the developed software correctness, completeness, and quality. Okay. So while giving the interview, there must be such a words should come while you are talking with the interviewer, and you have to show your confidence to the interviewer. So for that purpose, you have to use some technical words like correctness. Your software should be correct, complete, and it should have quality without any defect, so that it can be sold to the market without any error. Okay, so in this way you can answer for this question. Why the software testing is required? So I have listed out here various points. Okay, so you can at least give at least 3 to 4 points to the interviewer. You should be able to answer like why software testing is required. Okay, the first thing it point out the defects and errors, which is very important point which you have to tell for the requirement of the software testing. Then it reduces the coding life cycle. Okay, then it ensures the software application requires lower maintenance cost. Okay, once you are delivering the software which is errors free or defect free, then it means that after delivering that product, it should have the less maintenance. So that is one important point. That's why we need to do software testing. Then testing insurance, the customer finds the organization reliable. So it ensures the customer that that particular organization is reliable. So that assurance will be given to that particular organization. Okay, so it makes sure the software is bug free and the quality of the product meets the market standard. Okay, it ensures the application doesn't result any failure. Okay, so out of these points, you can discuss in 2 3 points to the interviewer, so that your knowledge will get tested over there. Okay, then what are the two main categories of software testing? Now here you have to say the one is the manual testing and other is automation testing. So what is manual testing? It is the oldest type of software testing where testers manually actually execute the test cases on the application or the product, and that particular product is manually tested. But in case of automation testing, there are many various tools are available. So testers have to write the scripts on those tools. For example, in the Selenium, we have to write the tool in either Java or Python to run or automate the testing. So it replaces the human being. The number of required resources required in manual testing are more as compared to automation testing. Okay, so in this way you can give the difference. The next, what is quality control? Is it similar to quality assurance? No. Your answer should be no. The quality assurance, as we discussed, like now you can see here, this question is asked in some other format. We have seen this difference actually at the first question, that is what is quality control and assurance. So you have to say that quality assurance is related to process, but quality control is related to product. Okay, so product is properly tested in quality control and process is properly checked in the quality assurance. Now, what are the types of testing? So at that time, you have to discuss all these types. So initially you can say what is black box and white box testing, then what is unit testing, what is system testing, integration and acceptance testing. These are the main basic manual testing types. Okay. So what is the difference between the next question that can be asked, difference between alpha testing and beta testing? Okay. Now these two types of testing are performed at a different environment. The alpha testing is performed at the testing environment, but beta testing is performed at the user's environment or the production environment or the real-time environment, which is also called as acceptance testing. Alpha testing is done by the testers in the team, but the beta testing is done by the users or the client before accepting the product. Okay. So alpha testing is done after every deliverable part of the product, and beta testing is also done after every before every both we are doing before delivering the product. Okay. Then what are the different manual levels of the testing? Now these are the main level which you have to tell to the interviewer. First is unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and user acceptance testing. Now what is unit testing? Okay, so while this question is asked by the interviewer to you, you have to say the unit testing is a way of testing where we are just only testing a small module or unit a module of a particular product. Okay, so here the tester will first test the only that particular module. Then in integration testing, the tester will try to combine a multiple models which are related to that particular unit tested module, and he will try to find out whether that unit tested module is properly integrated with the dependent module or not. Okay, and the system testing, here we are performing complete system testing before sending that product to the production or before delivering that product. We have to check whether the module which is developed by a particular developer is not affecting to any other part which is already there in that system. Okay, so this system testing should be done before delivering the product. And user acceptance testing, this type of testing is done by the user or the client so that they have accepted the product or the deliverable which is delivered by the team to the client. Okay, so means it is like acknowledgement that we are accepting your product. Okay, so that is the user acceptance testing, right? Now, what is tested in manual testing actually? Okay, it's depend on the need, sometimes hardware or the software. It's depend on the need. We are testing a configuration of hardware and software. And here we have the separate environment that is called as test bed actually. So that test bed, by using that test bed, we are testing we are doing the manual testing. So that test bed is called as QA environment. Here we are testing the software or the product. Okay. Now explain the procedure for the manual testing. So what are the points? First is planning. So for every we can say phase in the life cycle of the product or a project, we have these phases. First is planning, then analysis and design, then implementation, and then execution of that implementation, then evaluating criteria and reporting. Means we have to prepare the documentation and the test closure activity. So for every task in the project management, we have to follow this sequence. Now, what is test case? Okay, this is a very basic question which is asked in the manual testing. That is, it is a set of conditions which we are adding or the steps which we are going to follow. We are adding it in a document that is called as test case. Test case actually. Okay, so that is one of the very important interview question. Now, what is API testing? So before going for this question, you have to tell the long form of API. That is application program interfaces, to determine whether your functionality is reaching to the expectations or not. Okay, commonly we have three separate layers: presentation layer, then business layer, and the database layer for the API testing. Now, what is the difference between verification and the validation? It is a static analysis technique. Here, testing is done without executing the code, but in validation, the testing is done at the developer side with execution of the code. Okay, so that is called as validation and verification. That is the difference. What is the difference between bug and defect? Okay, so bug is a smallest error which is occurring whenever we are developing any software, but the defect is the actual issue without which we cannot go forward, we cannot deliver the product. That is called as defect. Okay, so these are some of the questions. Now I have enlisted here some of the advantages and disadvantages. You can go through it. These are very important and basic questions. The advantages are like, as here we are testing manually, so even if we need a cheaper way, we can say we do not need to purchase or buy any tool. Okay, so that is known to, and it is highly reliable as compared to auto testing. Then here in the drawbacks, you can say we need a less number of resources, and regression will be done very fast in less time. So all the types of testings are done in less amount of time with less resources. But the drawback of the manual testing, again, the cost required will be less. But here in the automation testing, we need a higher cost to purchase a tool. Okay. Now, what is the role of documentation? What are the documentations we are preparing actually? This question may be asked. First document we are preparing is a test plan, then test scenario, test case, traceability matrix, and test results which we are going to add. Now here I have enlisted one more point, that is the difference between automated and manual testing. Okay, so you can read it and go through it. The first, in case of accuracy, the automation testing is better. Number of resources required in automation are less, but in manual it is more. But um, the cost required in automation testing is more as compared to manual. Okay, because we need to purchase a tool. A number of human efforts required in manual are more as compared to automation. Okay, and we are preferring manual testing for the small applications, but for the larger or bigger applications, we are preferring the automation testing. Okay, so if you want to run a single test stepwise, it will require more time in manual testing, but in automation, it requires less time. Also, regression is very easy and fast in case of automation testing as compared to manual testing. Okay, so these are some of the basic questions which I have added in this slide, so that you have to just go through, and before going to the interview, you have to prepare all these questions, because these are the questions which every company will ask you for the interview. Okay, so this is all about your interview questions for this session. Thank you.